Hey friends, Keith and Christy with you, and welcome to the February Bmonthly show. And thank you guys for
and restart.
Hey friends, Keith and Christy with you, and welcome to our February Bmonthly show. So glad you guys are with us. How you doing?
I'm good.
February. Every February for the last 5 years we have done Black History Month, and this year is no different. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the cover. These magazines have been on the stands for a couple of days now. Kind of a little bit late on the show, but we've had some things going on in our personal lives, and but this is it. And when I had the word courage in my head after Natasha Mitchell wrote the feature story, and I didn't have a picture for it, but I had the word. And so going through, I bet 1,000 pictures that me and Matt went through, I saw that picture. And that spoke it all to me right there. If that doesn't say what courage is, I don't know what it is. It's a black gentleman's hand holding a chain. And when I sent that, and by the way, Natasha Mitchell will be on the show today. She's our only guest today, but it's very important to us to have her on the show to talk about her feature story about Black history. And so, but that right there, when I sent her that picture, her first word back was powerful, and that's what I wanted to hear. I want that to be powerful. When someone walks by that stand and sees that cover, I want them to pick that up, and I think, well, they have, because we're almost out of magazines, and it's only the 9th. Is it today the 9th?
I think it's the 10th.
10th. There you go. We're almost out of magazines. It's 10th of the month. So, okay, so this year's Black History Month, every year, me and Natasha go back and forth on what we're going to write about. I have ideas, she has ideas, and I told her I want her to get 5 or 6 of the most influential black people who made not only a change in Oklahoma, but a national change. And she did, and man, she knocked it out of the park. This feature, besides the Tulsa Massacre, this is my favorite feature story. I did love the Black Towns that we did. That was really good. But this one, we picked out 6 individuals, she did, and wrote about these individuals. And I'm going to touch on a few of these guys and ladies. My favorite, one of my favorites, is this George McLaurin. This gentleman right here. He went to OU, University of Oklahoma, law school. First black student at the University of Oklahoma Law School. He had to sit out of the classroom in the hallway at a desk to listen to the professor teach law. And that's how he got his law degree. In the hallway at a desk. So,
It just makes you wonder what all the other students are doing. I would have said, I would have said now. I mean, I don't know me then.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't say it. I wasn't there, I can't say it.
Sure.
But I would like to think I would have said, no, I'm going in the hall. If he's in the hall, I'm in the hall.
Yeah.
Why are we not all in the hall? Why is the teacher saying it's okay to be in the hall? And I think I can say that because I remember my dad telling me the story about his teammate here in Bartlesville.
Yes.
And they wouldn't let him eat at the restaurant. And my dad said, so our team said, then none of us eat.
Yep.
They were going to make him eat in a back room by himself, and they were all like, forget it, we're together. And so they left.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of white people throughout the blacks who had to fight their way through, who stood up with these people. I mean, a lot of white people did. And so, but, because my best friend growing up was black, and I was always at his house spending the night, and his mom could cook. Oh my gosh.
So could your mom.
My mom could cook.
So he spent the night with you?
He spent the night at my house too, a lot. So we were always together for 6 years. We ran track together, we played football together. Everything we did, we were together all the time. I didn't see color. I've never seen color, and it just blows me away when I start reading these feature stories, what these individuals had to go through just to go eat, or just to go across town, or whatever the deal was. It just blows my mind. And when you start really digging into the black history, especially in Alabama, Birmingham, down there where it all kind of started with Martin Luther King, And I think next year we're probably going to touch a lot on Martin Luther King. But what they did down there in Birmingham with the fire hoses and the dogs and the hangings and all the things that happened down there, look, that wasn't that long ago. It was not that long ago when we were hanging black people from trees, people. And so as a country today, have we gotten better? Yes, we've gotten better. I think we have gotten a lot better, but there's still a lot of stuff out there that we can get better at. And so, but you're going to love the Black History feature story that she did. And just looking at this picture right here, and I'm going to have Josh put that picture up on the full screen. Colored entrance to go eat. Come on, people. Anyway, let's get on through here. Oh, and besides Natasha Mitchell, we have her sweet husband, Richard. Richard Mitchell is our profile this month, and what a fascinating story. Used to be city council. Oh my gosh, smart, one of the smartest men I've ever known.
They're a good pair.
Good pair. He used to be city councilman here and has done a lot of work, and we're so proud to put him in our magazine. And Debbie Neese, when she told me what she asked me, do you want me to write about this for my article? And I said, yes, let's do it. And she wrote about the Underground Railroad. And I'm going to get to it here. Debbie Neese always does Now You Know. And so it's always 2 pages. And she said, Keith, I really need more than 2 pages to do this story. So I gave her 3 pages. And when you read this story, you guys have to read this story, because the Underground Railroad came right here in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. And we were a part of that. And it's fascinating to me when you read this story how much, how the blacks had to do so much stuff under the light just to be able to live. And the Underground Railroad talks about that. And, you know, we've come a long way as a country. I know we have. And, but you're going to love that story there. And of course, Grayson's Donut Hole, that's a great story right there.
They brought us donuts to the mission just a month or so ago. They said we had some extra ones. They were so good. If you haven't been to Grayson's, I mean, we have been blessed with, we've had Sal's bring us donuts, we've had Mark.
But Grayson's does like the bacon donuts, and they do all that fancy stuff.
And then, yes, and speaking about the mission,
yes,
we have to not forget this.
Yeah.
And I'll have Josh show this, put this poster up too, to give more details. But we have something coming up for Be the Light Mission. We're having a 1K, 3K, it's a walk. And
5K.
It was a 5K?
Yeah,
it's
1K, 5K.
I don't know the Ks.
I know.
It's a mile, it's 3 miles, or what. Anyway,
it's
kind of just the idea of, coldest night of the year, February 24th, 5 o'clock at the mission at Be the Light. 219
North Virginia.
You know, to get an idea of what it's like to be in the cold. Obviously, we come from our car, where it's cold, we run in from our car, or we're going into our house, or into our jobs, or whatever. But to live in the cold is really a whole nother thing. And so this is just to kind of give people an idea. And we think it's going to be cold because technically that is the coldest night of the year, but it could be 60. Either way, we're having it. It's a fundraiser.
And you can bring your dog.
You can bring your dog.
Yes.
We're going to feed you.
Yes.
You guys, we have lots of merch. We have beanies. We have buttons. We have all sorts of things.
It's our first one.
Yes.
And so we've already got almost 100 people signed up to walk.
There's no age limit.
Nope.
And if it's ice and snow and terrible weather, we're going to walk the building because 8 times around is a mile. So we're just going to go around and after we walk outside or inside, we're going to feed you a bite and then give a tour of the building. And so it's going to be a great fundraiser. Just come on out and see us, if nothing else. 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it supports what we're doing over there at Be the Light. And we want you guys to be a part of that through the walk and to see what we've done over there to that building to get it prepared to get
answer a lot of questions that people have.
And get our brothers and sisters off the streets and get them in a place where they can get better, and we can end the poverty and end the
poverty mindset.
Yes, the poverty mindset.
That's what we're working on. That's what we're all about.
So join us February 24th, 5 o'clock. Go to the website, bethelight.org, b-thelight.org, and sign up for your team, or just come and join our team.
Join our team. Yeah. And it's free. Doesn't cost anything, but it is donation.
Yep.
You know, because it is a fundraiser. But yes.
And there's that right there. So you can just go right there. I'll have Josh pop that up there on the screen. Bethelight.org, Be the Light Mission, and go to there. So going on real quick. There's a lot of good stories in here. So I've got Aaron Kirkpatrick, who's a pastor over there at oh no, I was gonna forget the church.
Adams Boulevard.
Yeah,
Right?
over there, Adams Boulevard. He's going to do a story every month called Everyday Adventures. And he has traveled all 50 states. And I think he's taken his family with him to all 50 states. This one talks about shark diving.
No, he said when his kids turn 12, he takes them on a big trip.
Yeah.
And this one, his daughter picked shark diving.
Shark diving.
It's a really good story.
It is so good. It is so good. And real quick, also Shamrock the Ville, that's coming up. That's not. Yeah, that's coming up. And
Another good fundraiser.
yes, and I always love Jay Hastings' stuff. He writes The Candy Man. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get Natasha out here, and let's talk about the feature story, which is an incredible story. You guys are going to love it, like I said before. So let's get her out here and talk to Natasha about the feature story. Hey, welcome back, guys. We were with Natasha Mitchell. Natasha, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Yes, Natasha has been writing our Black History feature story. Now, this is your fourth? Is this your fourth one?
It is.
Yes,
Fourth one.
fourth one. This is our fifth Black History Month issue that we've done, and Natasha's been writing, and this is her fourth one. And, you know, we have a good relationship. Me and Natasha, we go back and forth, and we try to decide what we're going to write about each year. And this year, because we've done Black Towns of Oklahoma, which I love that issue. That was one of my favorite issues. And then we did, of course, the award-winning Tulsa Massacre, which is my ultimate favorite issue that we've ever done. Of all the issues we've done, that was my favorite. Because that one was so emotional to put together, and it was right at the time of the 100th anniversary that we did that one. Timing was perfect, and we didn't plan that; it just happened that way. And what a story that was. And so this year, we kind of went back and forth, and we decided that I wanted to pick out 5 or 6 people from Oklahoma who made an impact, not only in our state, but in the country, when it came to civil rights and all the things that the blacks have gone through over the years. And I had the word courage in my mind the whole time doing this story while she was writing it. And then when I saw this picture, I just knew that was going to be the cover. And when I sent it to Natasha, I was a little not scared to send it to her. I was like, "What do you think about this?"
Because you know she's going to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's always honest with me. She's going to tell me straight up what's going on. But she said that's very powerful, and that's what I wanted people to see when they see that.
Yes.
And it makes you look at it. You kind of have to go, now what am I? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really focus on what you're looking at.
Okay. So you picked out these individuals throughout here. Miss Clara here. Clara. When I read her story, she was if you had put gloves on her, she'd have knocked you out. I guarantee you. I mean, she was a fighter.
Yes, she was.
She was. So, talk about when you started looking at who you were going to put in here, and what gave you that. Why did you put that person in the feature? Because there's so many people you could have put in here.
Oh yes, that's a good question, Keith. I would say, since you went there with Clara, I would say Mrs. Looper is definitely number one in my book, because I actually met her a couple of times.
Oh, you did?
Yes, when I was in Oklahoma City working for the Oklahoman, I interfaced with Mrs. Looper on different occasions. One, because she started the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant, which is going on currently today. It's very popular, particularly among the African American students and historic at Langston and other colleges. And just the fact that everyone knew who she was, I mean, the impact that she has made on the landscape as it pertains to the civil rights movement. And I didn't really realize the significance of what she did until I had the opportunity of going to Greensboro, North Carolina on a journalism fellowship and met with one of the four that started the sit-ins in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we were in a panel, they were in a panel discussion and was talking about the impact of how the sit-ins, ignited the South and the surrounding states. And so when I sat in that particular session and understood the significance of what happened in Oklahoma as it related to North Carolina, I was like, wow, this is incredible. It's American history, it's Black history, but it's also American history. So she is just an amazing person. Very much, she was definitely would tell you what was on her mind.
Yes.
She didn't hold back.
She didn't hold back.
She was a trailblazer. She was courageous. Exactly what the cover was all about.
Yes.
So she was one person that I definitely wanted to put in a magazine. Probably as a runner-up, the second person is definitely John Hope Franklin, because
I thought you might say George. That's okay. That's okay.
Yes. John Hope Franklin, his influence even expanded beyond Tulsa, of course, with the Tulsa Race Massacre. His father was involved with that as an attorney. But John Hope Franklin, his legacy expanded even through Nashville, Tennessee with Fisk University and just some of the initiatives he did there. His, just his work in documenting the American history, the African American history that is going on, that even as us as African Americans, we knew part of the significant parts of our history, but knowing the in-depthness of how we came here and how, all of us in different aspects of our lives encountered, some significant troubling times during segregation and even after segregation. He documented all that. And so being a historian of Black history is, I think in my eye as a writer, is significant in being able to capture that spirit.
Well, and we almost used, with George here, George McLaurin, he went to University of Oklahoma. And when he was in class, he could not be in class with the other students, with the white students. He had to sit in the hallway, right here, picture right there. He had to sit in the hallway and try to listen to what the professor was saying. And she sent me that picture months ago before we even got this magazine going, and we almost used that for the cover. If I would have had a better shot of it, I would have used it for the cover, because that's fascinating to me. And this just happened in the when was that, in the 50s?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not too long ago. And so when you leave a gentleman out here in the hallway to learn law school, just fascinating to me. And then I loved A.G.W. Sengo. How do you say it, Sengo?
Yes.
I think when we start looking at Black history, for me, when I was growing up as a young kid, my best friend was Black. And I just didn't see color. My family didn't see it. I spent the night at his house, he spent the night at my house. And I just look back, because we were born in 1969, so it bothers me to understand how we're going to get fire hoses, we're going to spray down people, we're going to hang people, we're going to do all those things, and that happened only 20 years before I was born. And that's just, and how we got better as a country? I believe we've got better as a country. Is there still a lot of work to do? Oh yeah, there is a lot of work we still have to do. But
I'm glad we're talking about it.
Oh.
And I'm glad that you agree to help us write, because it would be a different thing if we we couldn't do it. We need your help every year, even though he might get on your nerves whenever you start talking about
This.
what the topic is.
Yes.
But you shoot it to us straight, like you and Reverend Paul too. A lot of times we'll call him and say, and he's had to set us, by us I mean Keith, straight a couple times.
Yes.
Because we can't get it. You know, as much as we try, and we say we don't see or we don't, but we acknowledge that too, and want people to know that about us, because we feel like we learn every year. We learn something that's, you know, amazing to us, but we hope everybody else is also learning and trying to get.
And this being our 5th Black History Month issue, we're always in February going to do Black History Month, and we will not stop doing that
And
until.
people are always mad because they'll always say, "You're only giving us a month," and you know we get a lot of negative feedback, and we're like, doing our best. You know, we also only do pets once a month. I mean, like, there's all the things we can only do once a month. There's only 12 months in a year, but we feel like we do a really good job. Cover a lot.
Well, thank you. I will probably say, as a parting thought, is the one thing that I do as a writer is I try to immerse myself in the experience of understanding the history. And as a thought with that is, I actually had the opportunity yesterday to go to Greenwood Rising, the museum, and just spend time there. And although I've already written about the Tulsa Race Massacre, just going into the museum and looking at the artifacts and sitting and understanding, reading the history, understanding what was happening during that particular time, it kind of sealed what has been written, and it also elevates the experience because seeing it there and also seeing it in DC at the National African American Museum, it was just significant to see how Tulsa is only a clip of the whole entire nation of events that's happening. So as a part of the experience that I've been doing is I've been going to different sites in the country and seeing the museums and seeing what is on display and understanding the stories. And when I do that, it helps me as a writer to be able to convey what is happening and has happened to our readership. So I hope to continue to do that. I know Keith, you will not give me up. I know that.
You're going to be running until we're done doing the magazine. You're not done doing the magazine. I can tell you that right now. But I do want to say also too, we had your handsome husband Richard. He was our profile this month, and what a fascinating story that was, and all the things he's done. But you know, he's retired, but you're not retired because you work all the time. So don't tell me you're retired.
Don't give it away, but they should really read the story. I had no idea. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Super
also
smart.
what I love, and we talked about this a little bit in the opening, is the Underground Railroad.
Yes.
That came right here to Bartlesville. Right here, guys. And a fascinating story that Debbie Niche wrote about the Underground Railroad, and you have to read that. I mean, this magazine is loaded with Black history, and that's what we want to do every time. And I gave Debbie 3 pages on that. She only usually gets 2, but she said she had to have 3, and so, well, one of the things that we always want to do is we want to shed light on what's going on, not only in Bartlesville, but our state and our country. And I know that we've got a lot of work to do as a country and as a state, but I think we've come far. We've come a long ways from where we used to be. And I wanted that picture right there. When I put that picture out, I wanted that man right there, that black gentleman, to be holding the American flag, because that's what it's all about. And if you read my up front, I told you that in the Declaration of Independence it says all men are created equal, and that means all men. So, okay, well, Natasha, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You'll be here every February.
Okay.
So just go ahead and put it in your calendar for next year. I don't know what we're going to do next year, but it's going to be something good.
We should start thinking now.
Yeah, because of course Natasha visits all these museums and all these places that I don't get to visit. But I want, when we do it.
It's so true though. When we went to the church in Tulsa,
Oh.
why is that escaping my brain? The name of the church. Amy,
Vernon.
Yeah.
Amy.
Yeah.
So, and they were so kind to take us in there to the base,
Where they hid.
and you can feel it.
Oh.
I mean, you felt it when you walked in the room, and you can't, there's something about when you go to the museums or even just to the historic place where things happen, it just changes everything, because when you can still feel what went on, I mean, it was amazing. And of course, he explained it to us, Reverend Turner, she's now in Baltimore, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
Reverend
He
Turner.
did such a great job just walking us through there too.
I mean, if you haven't been down to,
I need to go. Yeah.
you have to go down there. If you haven't read that issue, you have to go back, go to Bartlesville.com and go look at that issue, because it's one of the best written issues and the most powerful pictures that you're ever going to see in a
And
magazine.
then go to Tulsa and go to the museum.
Oh, you have to. It's amazing, because that was the only structure, not really a structure standing. It was just basically a basement that was left that didn't burn during that massacre. And people hid out in that basement. And like Christy said, when you walk down there, you can feel the presence of those people that were hiding down there while the whole city was burning. And it's just the most powerful thing, one of the most powerful things I've ever done in my life was that right there. So anyway, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do for us. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys. Hey, we're going to end the show right here. Natasha was our only guest today because we wanted to really focus on the Black history and the people who changed the history here in Oklahoma, for all Americans, not just for the blacks, but for whites too, because there was a lot of white people that marched with these people too, and a lot of people who stood up right next to them and wanted better for everyone. So thank you again. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. God bless you, and we'll see you down the road.